I started with fair districts, beginning just working collecting signatures of support for FDPA's efforts to get a new Pennsylvania constitutional to amend the Constitution. And bit by bit, I became a captain and eventually got into data entry process and began to find my own niche.
Berks County is one of the counties that has been most affected by gerrymandering in the state. Carol did an interview with the Reading Eagle, which I read, and I thought, wow, I guess there is something you can do about it. At first, I started out as the events coordinator for them, working with, arranging meetings that we could get out and educate people. What I'm doing now is I am facilitate the mailings for the polling place outreach, as well as tabling events, which is where we get out, we educate people, get them to sign signatures, where we collect those petitions, the signatures on the petitions that we send off to Wendy, that her team inputs.
So I got involved with fair districts initially back in 2020. So I had reached out and just submitted my name on a list. And when they heard I was a geography major, they decided to recommend that I enter a mapping competition. So I had never heard of mapping, like in terms of political mapping or redistricting. I had never tried it before. Fair districts had their own mapping competition where they invited people to draw their ideal state house and state senate maps for Pennsylvania. I entered that competition and I won both categories. And then joined the mapping team for fair districts. And then we submitted testimony and advocated during the actual redistricting process.
In 2018, somebody suggested to Carol that for a new group she was organizing, I might be a good administrator. She was forming a team called Advocacy Advisors, people who would help those who are going to visit their legislators. It was very rewarding work. And I also, around that same time, started doing copy editing, which is what I really love to do. And so I became involved in the communications.
So I started out as a Dauphin County volunteer. I have been at festivals to get signatures for the petition. I have held events. I have been a speaker. It has evolved to working on more of a statewide level, doing research on the rules that our House and Senate elected officials use and abuse at times.
I shifted my focus towards speaking, as well as part of the research team. And then from that, in 2023, me and another leader connected over our interest in trying to get more young people involved in fair districts. And essentially, the goal is just to bring the fair districts message to voters under the age of 35. Young people aren't aware of how big of a role the state legislature can potentially play in their lives.
Your hats can change depending on your life circumstances, and fair districts is very aware of that and honors that. When you put it all together, the result that comes out is tremendous, and you've been able to have a piece of that success.
In my career, I ran my own marketing and communications firm and became reasonably skilled in video editing and photography. I contribute those skills to fair districts whenever I can at events, and I also do a lot of video editing. The thing that I love about fair districts is the sense of community. These are people who have said to themselves, I am not giving up on this.
It is a way that I feel I can make a difference. So it's very worthwhile to get involved with.
I think Fair Districts is a great organization to get involved with, to be able to do something personally to improve the political process.
It's a truly dedicated effort, and I feel lucky to be able to contribute in some small way.
It's much more beneficial to put your time and energy into an organization like Fair Districts that has a nonpartisan message and really a clear goal in mind of how to improve government.
What is incredible about being a volunteer here is the Fair Districts Village I get to be a part of. They are nonpartisan and they are very dedicated.
please consider becoming a volunteer with Fair Districts. We really need you, and we'd love to have you join us.
We have more detailed policy documents in our volunteer resource library available on the Fair Districts PA website. Feel free to check those out or ask leaders in any FDPA group you're working with if you have specific questions.